What's up, everyone? This video is going to go over the different damage types in Dota. So there's six. Yeah, there's six. There's physical, magical, composite, HP removal, pure, and universal. So they have different ways of being negated, or some can't be negated at all. But I'll go over them in detail later on this video. The way you want to check is so all of your auto attacks, all of your auto attacks are physical, and then if you scroll over your spells, you can see that where it says damage, it says pure. Some spells are magical, and then if you have universal, then it's say universal, physical, or whatnot. But understanding these different types of damage sources will help you build the right items, pick the right heroes to lane against. So some heroes are inherently better than others, but it'll help you a lot if you just have sort of the foundational understandings of these damage types. The first damage source I want to talk about is physical. So this comes from all of your right clicks, right? So all of the auto attacks, they do physical damage, and physical damage can be reduced by armor or block, or block items such as stout shield or Vanguard. So if you look at him, he has physical resistance, 33% physical resistance. So if I hit him, it's 115 damage. Now if he picks up a bunch of plate mails, oops, not that yet. Now his resistance went up to 74%. So we had I think 116, right? So if I hit him again, now it's 45, around 45 damage. And so just having lots of armor reduces physical damage, and then the damage block on top of it also helps to reduce it as well. So the poor man's shield on melee heroes blocks 20 damage, and this is calculated before the armor reduction. So it would take my what is this, 180? No, 175 damage. It would subtract the 20 from any block item. So if you had a Vanguard and it procced, it would subtract that value. It would subtract 40 from your damage source, and then it would do the 75%. So really, instead of blocking it after, instead of doing the 20 block, it should reduce it by 10. So we should be around the the 30-ish range? Yeah, 30, 40. And then there's a bunch of different spells that do physical. So like that one Witch Doctor, his Death Ward does physical damage. Anti-Mage's mana break, or not mana break, his mana burn, and even the Diffusal Blade's mana burn does physical damage. So it'll burn 36, or this one's 36. It'll burn 36 mana per hit, but it won't necessarily do that much damage. So it's the 36 is actually reduced by how much physical damage you have, physical damage resistance you have. So if I hit this guy a couple of times, we're looking at 149, 145 per hit. Now if he picks up a bunch of plate mails, if this was magical damage, it should be 50 plus, whatever this is, 36, but it's going to be reduced all in the same bucket as his physical attack. This is basically adding 36 to his regular attack, and then it's going to be all reduced by the same armor value. So yeah, it went up by like 6, which makes sense since he has 74% resistance on top of this. So yeah, you're looking at 75% resistance of that, which is like 8 or 9. But that's physical.
Keep it in mind.
So in summary, it's armor and damage block items that will reduce physical damage. The next source of damage is magical damage. So this is reduced by spell resistant items or spells. So for instance, Rubik's No Field reduces increases magic resistance for him and his the people around him. You can also get Black King Bar, which makes you immune to magic. Doesn't make you immune to stuns, but it makes you immune to magical damage. And I have a separate video that shows some of the interactions between that. But all heroes have a base magical damage resistance of 25. I know Meepo has 35, or was it 30? Some have more, some have less. But actually, I think 25 is the least amount you can have. But anyways, so magical damage. My deafening blast is magical damage. The Dagons are magical damage. Most spells in Dota are magical damage. So if I blast this guy, right now he has 25% magical damage. Actually, I don't even know why I'm doing that. Let me hit him with the Dagon. So this is a level 800 Dagon, and that did 600 damage to him. Makes sense. 800 minus 25% resistance is 600. Okay. If he picks up the Hood of Defiance, he has 47% magic resistance. So if I smack him again with the Dagon, oh, don't chase me. 420. So it reduced it by 180 more. The only thing is items don't stack with one another, so you can't get a bunch of hoods or cloaks and bump up your spell resistance. If you go Black King Bar, the magical damage, if it's all magical and there's no like debuffs or stuns, you won't be able to cast it on them. So if I activate this and I try to cast it, you can't cast it. If I try to blast them, it doesn't even do anything. Some spells go through it. Some spells have a stun. Some can go through it. One last thing is ethereal form increases the damage taken by magical damage sources. So like you can buy the Ghost Scepter, Ethereal Blade, or Pugna's Decrepify. If you hit someone and they're in that form, it does more damage. I think in ethereal form, magic damage is increased by 33%, and then later on, universal is increased by 40%. I have to check. But anyways, so if he turns on Ghost Scepter and I hit him with a Dagon,
Of course.
it is. Whoops, I gotta take off the hood. Anyways, that increased it by 160. So originally this was 600 without the hood. Ghost Scepter on, Dagon, boom. 840. So that increased it by 240 damage over the 600.
Yes.
But magical damage is really simple. You know, if they're magic, you can't hit them with magic. They don't take the damage.
Light my path. Well
Pure
away.
damage is a type of magical damage that is not reduced by any armor, damage block, or magic resistance items. It is reduced by spells such as Spectre's Dispersion or Bristleback's his passive that reduces incoming attacks. That's calculated before any damages are added onto the hero.
Fine.
Since pure damage is a magical source, it does not affect BKB units. If I hit him with my EMP, it should be 200 damage no matter what he picks up. Why is he not? Okay. So 200 damage. He has nothing on. If I get a hood, right, his magic resistance increased by 22%. Why am I auto attacking him? So the EMP again hit him for 200.
I'll keep it
The
in
pure
mind.
damage does not get increased by Ghost Scepter as well, or ethereal forms. So. Why is that 24?
Avowedly.
Wait, what? Oh, his mana. Okay. Drain all the dude's mana.
I am
Okay, can't. What? I didn't even type it. Alright, one more time. There you go. So if he has mana, it'll still hit him for pure damage. It doesn't matter if it's Ghost Scepter or not. Examples of pure are Bane, Bane's Brain Sap, Obsidian Destroyer's Orbs. There are like Spike Carapace, Blade Mail is pure. The Hook is pure from Pudge. Laser is pure. A bunch of different spells, but the thing you gotta know is it doesn't get affected by... Pure does not affect magic immune units since it is still a magical source, but it doesn't get reduced or multiplied by any type of source, whether that's beneficial or not beneficial. The next damage source is called HP removal. This works just like it says. It basically just removes HP. So whatever damage that you're taking from the HP removal spell, it just subtracts it straight up from your health points. It doesn't get reduced by physical or magical resistance or armor block or anything like that. It goes through BKB. Some spells have different mechanics. So, for instance, Warlocks, Fatal Bonds, you have to bond them before they BKB, or else you can't cast the bonds on them. Even though the damage source is HP removal, the spell is still magical. If he BKBs and I try to cast it on here, it won't bond him. You have to bond him before he BKBs, and then the damage source will still be there. So if I bond him now, and they BKBs, and I start hitting these people, his HP starts dropping. Why did that? It drops a little bit. Yeah, I got 2 bonds on him, but whatever. You'll notice that his heart continues to regenerate, and it doesn't get disabled. Like I said, it doesn't. The HP removal doesn't get attributed to a specific hero type of damage. That's why items like Heart and Salve and Clarity and Bottle can still work when you're taking HP removal damage. So the same thing goes for Vengeful. Her Scream is HP removal, so this doesn't stop his Heart or any type of Salve or anything like that.
by the power.
Composite damage is a type of physical damage that is also reduced by magic resistance. So it damages BKB units, so flips maxes, damages BKB units. It does not affect ethereal units until this goes away. Because it is physical. However, it gets reduced by physical and magic resistance, so I'm pretty sure they just add it together. So right now he would have 58% resistance to this axe, or he should, around there. It's probably calculated compositely. Yeah, so each axe is supposed to do 180 damage. It's only doing 90 each. So if you get, oops, not that. If you get a plate mail, his physical armor increase, resistance increase, and it goes down. If you get a hood, it continues to go down to 45. So the axes late game don't do that much damage, basically what I'm trying to say. His acid spray is also composite, so it does less and less damage over time. What else? Leshrak's Edict is composite. I think Techie's Landmine was composite too, but he's not in the game. But yeah, so composite is a physical damage. It goes through BKB, damages BKB units, but it does not affect ethereal units. the last type of damage is called universal damage. So this is basically a magic spell that goes through magic immunity. They don't list it as universal, but there's only 3 in the game right now. It's Doom, Enigma's Midnight Pulse, that thing he lays on the ground, and Tinker's March of the Machines, those the little machine robots. Those hurt BKB units. Obviously, you can cast Doom through BKB or Magic Immune, and they still take damage, even though it's listed as magical damage. One thing to note is it is, even though it's magical damage, it's reduced by magic resistance. So that was 52 damage per Doom instance. Now if I pick up a Hood and I Doom him, it's only 36. 36. Let me get Rubik over here. And his null field helps reduce it even more.
The Soul Eater hunts.
This guy only takes 29 damage. So even though it's universal, even though it goes through magic immune units, it is still a magic type of damage. So it is reduced by magic resistance. The ethereal form, Ghost Scepter, or the decrepify from Pugna, you'll take 40% more damage instead of the regular 33% that you take from normal magical spells. With universal spells, you'll take 40% extra damage if it's a universal damage source.